Regulation. There are numerous federal and state guidelines in which institutional and industrial facilities must comply. Fortunately, there's no need for you to become an expert in all the details of government regulation, but the rules do have a very real effect on your cleaning business. The trend toward departmental legislation, like the Clean Air Act, eliminating CFCs, the reduction of the VOCs in industrial manufacturing facilities, the EPA, USDA, the Department of Health, Education and Welfare, and OSHA regulations will most likely result in more regulations and standards that will need to be taken into consideration. It is your job as cleaning contractors to be aware of these regulations and to help your customers make their homes or offices meet these requirements. Employee training and safety seminars are becoming more and more critical to increasing your company's profits. Do you currently have a chemical safety training program in place? If an employee isn't properly trained to safely use a product or piece of equipment, your business will suffer. Safety data sheets are required for each of the chemicals used on the premises. If your company is in the healthcare market, OSHA's blood-borne pathogen standard may need to be addressed. You may need an exposure control plan, which requires employers to identify, in writing, tasks and procedures as well as job classifications where occupational exposure to blood occurs, without regard to personal protective clothing and equipment. Methods of compliance. This standard requires a written schedule for cleaning, identifying the method of decontamination to be used. Hepatitis B vaccination requires vaccinations to be made available to all employees who have occupational exposure to blood within 10 working days at no cost at a reasonable time and place, under the supervision of a licensed physician and according to the recommendations of the U.S. Public Health Service. Post-exposure evaluation and follow-up specifies procedures to be made available to all employees who have had an exposure incident. Plus, any laboratory tests must be conducted by an accredited laboratory at no cost to the employee. Information and training mandates training within 90 days of effective date. Initially upon assignment and annually, employees who have received appropriate training within the past year need only receive additional training in items not previously covered. Record keeping calls for medical records to be kept for each employee with occupational exposure for the duration of employment plus 30 years. They must be confidential and must include name and social security number. Temperature is an important factor because the cleaning operation usually involves a series of complex chemical reactions. These reactions usually occur faster at higher temperatures. The higher the temperature, the less time needed for the cleaning process to be completed. Heat makes cleaning and disinfecting more efficient and faster. Environment. In some instances, the environment may limit the type of cleaner that might otherwise be used to remove the soil. For example, assume that the soil is located in a highly restricted area with poor ventilation. A solvent-type cleaner might not be the best choice because the cleaning solvent vapors can have a negative impact on indoor air quality, causing adverse health effects for the end user or the occupants of the home or office. Cleaning solvent vapors can also present a fire hazard or cause residual odor in textiles and carpets. Before choosing a cleaner, be sure to evaluate all environmental conditions that could possibly limit your cleaner selection. Where in the home or office is the soil located? Ask about the environment to be cleaned. Are there special safety concerns or environmental factors that need to be taken into consideration? Is the area well ventilated? Will people be in the area being cleaned? Concentration. The chemistry of some cleaners allows for a stronger cleaning action as the concentration of the cleaning solution is increased. Your best sources of information are product label and product data sheets. They will tell you if increased concentration has any improved cleaning effect. Removing heavy soils by increasing concentration allows the additional work to be done by the chemical rather than the cleaning technician. Also, remember when comparing cleaning products, the product requiring the lower concentration may be the product of choice. The concentration of a cleaning product is based on the dilution ratio factor. When we talk about dilution, we are referring to the percent mixture of a chemical product to water. An example of dilution factor is 1 to 20. 1 to 20 ratio means 1 part chemical to 20 parts water, 20 being the factor. To determine the chemical ounces per gallon of water, convert gallons to ounces. For example, 1 gallon equals 128 ounces. So if we divide 128 by the factor of 20, that will equal 6.4 ounces of chemical per gallon of water. Cost is another major factor. In selecting one cleaner over another, it is important that all costs be identified. Overall economics includes not necessarily the cost per gallon of the cleaner, but more importantly, the ready-to-use cost. Every cleaning company must consider the cost of their cleaning product. Making the right choice of cleaning solution and processes can help you minimize that cost. Although the initial cost of a concentrate may be higher, the fact that the product can be diluted with larger amounts of water can actually reduce your ready-to-use cost.